I'm so excited to walk you through our inquiry questionnaire that's set up on Typeform. We've been using this for 2 years now, and it's been a great way to streamline our process of incoming inquiries. We send this link out to everyone who emails us to ask to work with us or hire us for our services, or even is just emailing us for pricing or to get on a call. This has been extremely helpful for our process. And if you're getting too many inquiries or you want to figure out a way to step away from this process and let a system do it for you, then this might be the key for you. So of course, our questionnaire starts off with our logo and a little blurb saying, before we have an intro call, we'd love to get a few more details about your project. Once they're in, we'll ask you about your brand, your business, this project, and finally about you. So, ready? Let's do this. So the first question we ask is stuff about them, of course. We want to ask them for their name first and foremost. You can make these required fields. And then the second, email address. This is really helpful, especially if they didn't email us and found this form on our Instagram, or if we sent this form through any other form of social media. And then the role in the company. This has been really helpful for us to know, are you the owner or are you speaking on the owner's behalf? Because we get quite a few people who are the assistant to the owner of the company, and it's really helpful for us to know if we need to specify that the owner should be on this call. And then this is just helpful for us to gauge their time zone, what time we should set up a call for, and might help give more insight into the project. Let's put Los Angeles. And then this question is just for us to understand where inquiries are coming from. So sometimes it might be a Google search or footer credit from another site that we've worked on. It might even be from one of our clients or another designer or studio. This really helps us gather numbers and understand a little more about where people are finding us. And then the next phase of the questionnaire is to talk more about their brand. So, what are you branding? Is it a company, a product, or a service? Let's say product. What is your brand name? So sometimes they say, I don't have one yet, or they'll tell us their brand name. Where can we find your website if you have one? This is helpful for us to also check out their site before we get on a call with them. And then we like to sprinkle in a few testimonials into this questionnaire, especially if they're new to us and don't really know what we do or who we've worked with. This has been a really great way to sprinkle in a few bites of information from our clients so that they can know who we are and what it would be like to work with us. And then just giving them a check-in. You're over halfway through. Let's talk about your business. Next question is, which industry does your business belong to? They can type or select an option. So if I just hit A, it'll show me all of the options below. I'll pick restaurant. How many people are part of your business or team? That helps us to know how big the company is before going into a call too. And then another testimonial from one of our amazing clients. And then thanks, that was helpful. And finally, some questions on this particular project. So we've kind of sprinkled in some personal copy in here, so it helps this feel as personable as possible. Which services are you most interested in? Choose as many as you'd like. So we have all of our bread and butter, basically, services. They can select other if they want to, but they typically stick to this list, which is helpful and also gives them an idea of what services we offer, and they might end up clicking more than they originally thought. So let's say they want to do branding and packaging. And then this is a very important question for us. What's your budget for this project? Based on the services selected, the below ranges are where we typically price those. So we have a few ranges in here. We've set up a little bit of logic so that based on how many they select or which ones they select, it'll show them which price ranges we typically price those at. So they can come in here and select one of the price ranges. And then at the end, a few more questions. What are your objectives for this project? So this helps us to understand a little more insight. They might bring up a really important topic, or that they're rebranding a business that's been around for a while, or maybe they're even starting a new business and have no idea where to start. We get all sorts of answers on this section. And then, do you have a deadline in mind? This one is usually ends up being next month. So we usually have to talk them through our timing on that intro call, but at least this helps us to know if someone were to put, 12, like the end of the year, 12/1/2023, then that's helpful for us to know that they have quite a bit of wiggle room with their deadline, and it's nice to know that going into the call. And then lastly, another great testimonial from our clients. And thanks, that's all the questions we have. If your project is a good fit, we'll be in touch to schedule an intro call. So sometimes we'll email them back and notice that they selected all of the services but selected the lowest budget. Or if they come back with being a real estate brand, or if it's a doctor's office, we might look at their website and maybe look into their Instagram. And if we don't really think that it's something that we would work on, or that we're familiar with, or feel that we're experts on, then we might respond to them and say that it doesn't sound like we might be a good fit. And then they can hit submit, and we'll see all of those responses. We usually get about 10 of these filled out per month, and that's from maybe 20 or 30 emails that we'll get asking about getting on a call. So sometimes that already narrows down our inquiries, and then going through this helps narrow them down even more to making sure that we're only talking to people who could potentially be a client of ours. We don't want to waste too much of our time or their time, so this questionnaire is a really good tool for us to gauge some of those things. I highly recommend using Typeform. It's been extremely helpful, not only for this questionnaire, but several others that we use for our clients and our processes. I have a link in the notes below. Feel free to click on that link to start a Typeform account for your business. This would be extremely helpful. I highly recommend it. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. And if you'd like to see more content like this, then please subscribe. I'm hoping to cover even more internal processes like this that might be helpful for you to see as well.